Oh, can everyone hear me? Or am I muted for everyone? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. So thank you, everyone. My name's Anna Kosnick. For those that I haven't actually met in person or have seen my name pop up, I'm the manager of performance programs and the game plan advisor here at CSI Pacific. I am joining the call today from the unceded and shared territory of the Squamish and the Lil'wat Nations, where I get to live, work, and play. And I do want to acknowledge that our CSI Pacific workplaces are also in the traditional and ancestral unceded territories of Musqueam, Esquimalt, and the Songhees Nation of the Coast Salish people. Interesting. Claudia, I wonder if you try logging out and then logging back in and see if that works for William. Otherwise, Noah, do you have some tech?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might just be, through when in the mic settings, if you hit the drop down for speakers, see if it's something else. I think everybody else is seeming to hear you fine, Anna. So it's just something, a setting on you for you, Claudia, I think.
Okay, I'll carry on, and then Claudia, let Noah know if we can help out there with audio. Okay, and then I'll carry on, but you'll also hear from Andrea Wools, who will highlight some of our. Oh, sorry. So I'm really thrilled to have the opportunity here to connect with you all and introduce the incredible team behind our program that brought this project to life. I do have the privilege of doing most of the talking tonight, but this project has an incredible team behind it located in BC. And then Andrea Wools, like I just mentioned, will highlight a couple of the project collaborators from Nova Scotia who have been delivering a TrueSport Ambassador program back east. They generously shared insights, resources with us, and we really couldn't have launched that program out here without their contributions and experience. So really appreciate their work there. With that, I'm going to switch the slides over to the agenda. The purpose of today's call is to celebrate our 12 athlete ambassadors who are chosen from 64 outstanding applicants. We'll walk through the program overview, introduce the project team, how this initiative came together, and then we'll also celebrate and introduce the 2026 cohort of ambassadors and provide a high-level overview of what's to come. And just a reminder, we'll be in touch with regular contact as the program unfolds throughout the year. A few housekeeping items before we start with the overall presentation. I'm anticipating that this meeting will take about 30 to 45 minutes. The second portion of this presentation tonight is a workshop. So for coaches and Regional Alliance staff, it's optional for you to stay on longer than that. The workshop will be led by Geoff Hackett, our certified mental performance coach, and it'll focus on goal setting and value-based leadership. So it should be a good one to stick on. A couple of other reminders, questions, please feel free to jump in at any point, unmute yourself, add them to the chat, raise your hand. Would love to hear your input. This is just as much about you as it is for us delivering the content. And then for those of you that I already had sent the slide deck, or maybe watching the recording later, I did switch up and added 2 or 3 slides. So you'll hear me say, this is a new slide as we move through. So just thanks in advance for your patience on that one. And then again, I'll follow up with the updated PowerPoint and for the recording as well. Okay. So I am going to shift now to our next slide, which is the project overview. And then I'm going to move over directly to the slide that is, why do we have athlete ambassadors? So sport at its best is when people feel inspired, respected, and it's a safe place to grow. As an organization, CSI Pacific, we and Via Sport, we help shape that system. We kind of create policies, workshops, and campaigns, but none of those resonate as deeply as hearing it from you guys as athletes and you who are living in that culture every day. Athletes shape the environment in ways that staff and organizations like us simply can't. And when you speak up, you model those behaviors, you share your experiences, people start to pay attention. Teammates listen to you, younger athletes follow your lead. And that's why this ambassador program exists, because you have the ability to influence culture from the inside of your organizations and BC as a whole. So our goal with this program is to support you in amplifying that impact so that sport becomes a place where everyone feels respected, inspired, and again, a safe place to grow. So with that, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Andrea Woles, who's the safety manager at Via Sport and who was instrumental in bringing this project forward to BC and the key partnerships that she's going to speak to that made this possible. So I'm going to switch to the next slide. And Andrea's going to speak to how the Athlete Ambassador Program started.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Anna, and welcome everybody. It's so exciting to see you and see your faces. I love that you're on video, if you can, if you're not chewing. I know this is mealtime for a lot of you. Also really wanted to acknowledge that you're busy people with busy days, and 2 hours on an evening in the week is a lot. And thank you so much for your commitment and coming to this. We're really excited to have you. We've been trying to launch an ambassador program for a couple of years, and it only happened because we were part of the Canadian Olympic Committee's Project Lighthouse, which was their Safe Sport project. They did a lot of work at the national level, but they also wanted to do a provincial territorial collaboration project. So they chose us, Via Sport BC, an organization called SportEd in Quebec. They run a helpline and do educational workshops around safety and sport. And Sport Nova Scotia were the three partners for the provincial territorial part of that collaboration. And we talked about it as sort of throwing puzzle pieces into the hat that other people might be able to pick up and use so that we're not all duplicating each other's work all the time. And one of the things that Sport Nova Scotia put in the hat was their TrueSport Nova Scotia Athlete Ambassador Program. And we got to go out to Halifax in November last year to be part of their athlete onboarding. And the picture at the bottom of this slide is the current cohort of their athlete ambassadors. And the dream of the woman who runs this program in Nova Scotia, Alana Lieberman, her dream is to have a cohort of you folks in each province and territory across Canada and have opportunities to get you together. So you're not alone in this journey. There are other people doing similar work in other parts of the country. But we were able to pick up that program, and Anna's done a ton of work, and I know other people at CSI Pacific have done a ton of work to adapt it to BC. BC is sadly much larger than Nova Scotia, and so we're doing some things virtually that they do in person, but I think it's going to be a really powerful program. We got to see the impact that the athletes there had seen in previous ambassadors. They're into year 4 now of their program. And so there are athlete ambassadors who wanted to apply because their team captain of their team a couple of years ago was an ambassador. So it's rolling on. You can really see the impact that first cohort had on the athletes that were younger than them, but also on their coaches. Right? There's this beautiful dynamic between them, and being able to reach into communities across the province is something that we're not able to do without you. So we really appreciate your interest in this. Financial support for this was provided through that Project Lighthouse from the Canadian Olympic Committee. They're super keen on this. They'd be really excited to see what comes out of it. I think that's all I need to say about that, Anna. If you want to move us forward, are we back to you?
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll just touch really quickly for context in terms of who's involved in this project from behind the scenes. So I'll quickly introduce our core partners. So in terms of their project leads, myself and Andrea are leading this project. From the communication side, Noah Wheelock and Selena Toth are overseeing some of the communication pieces. Project sponsors, again, Andrea Woles from Via Sport and David Hill from CSI Pacific. And then a really core part of this program's success is the Regional Sport Alliance. So we've got a few of those folks on the call today, and then each of you have been connected with your regional center contacts. So there'll be a lot more engagement as the program starts moving along. And then just a reminder for those of you who may not be as familiar, CSI Pacific is part of a national network. So we're part of the Canadian Olympic and Paralympic Sport Institute network that brings, and it's a national network. So we work specifically with high performance athletes to provide world training environments, sport science, sport medicine, coaching support, research and development, innovation and education. And this project fits really nicely under our national commitment in terms of athlete development and education. So really excited to carry that safe sport culture forward. In terms of the Regional Sport Alliance, so some of you might be familiar with the Pacific Sport centers across the province. The Regional Sport Alliance is a network of regional sport centers across BC. They are really the frontline community connectors for us. So they support athletes, coaches, clubs, multi-sport development at the local level. And they help to ensure that programs like this are actually rooted within the regional communities. So for this to be successful, we really needed their investment and their involvement to make sure that this is delivered across the province. So I'll speak a little bit more on their role later on in this session, but I'm really excited that this is a provincial effort. And again, welcome to the cohort. We had 64 quality applications from across BC, and you are 12 exceptional ambassadors that we're excited are representing 7 regions across the province. So with that, I'm actually going to kick it back to Andrea, who will speak about Via Sport and kind of connecting who they are within that sports sector as well.
Sure. So you can see Via Sport was listed on there a few times, and I would be surprised if many of you had ever heard of us before. We're sort of the equivalent of Sport Canada at the national level. So you might know that the government of Canada gives money to Sport Canada and they distribute it to the national teams, right? So at the provincial level, the provincial government gives core funding to sports organizations, and it comes through us. So we champion amateur sport in BC. We're pretty focused most of the time on supporting organizations, but our PlaySafe work focuses on supporting people in sport. And we do a lot of evaluation of the sports organizations and support them as well. So just in case we're new to you, I just wanted to make sure that we included that so you don't spend the whole time wondering.
And then I'm on to the next slide around program timelines. So this is also in the workbook that we sent out to all of you. So onboarding is happening tonight. Just a really quick overview for context in terms of what the program is, what your different roles will be. We are planning 2 other skill building sessions. So one hopefully in early April, and then a second one in June and July on different topics. And then we've got a couple of markers there for some of the other deliverables, so blog posts and community outreach for timelines. But we should be wrapped up from a program level at the end of December, and I'll touch base on, or we'll touch later in the session in terms of what some of these focus groups and milestones are, so you're familiar with what those are. I'm going to switch it over to just identifying or providing you a little bit more context in terms of what the ambassador levels are and a little bit of information in terms of what those names are. So we have 2 levels of athlete ambassadors. Andrew and I will provide a little bit of context around the naming conventions. I'll start with the game plan ambassadors. For those that might be less familiar, Game Plan is a holistic wellness, or is Canada's holistic athlete support network. And the purpose of this program is to empower national team athletes with practical tools to live healthy and balanced lives at every stage of their journey. So this program actually launched out of the 2010 Olympic Games. There was some research that was presented to the government and highlighted a major gap in terms of supporting athletes through transition. So we wanted to ensure that they could leave sport healthy, thriving citizens in terms of returning to the communities that they live, work, and play in. So For us now, and what the research has told us after delivering this program for 13 years, is that living well as a high performance athlete is far beyond just training. And this program has developed from a transition athlete or a transition athlete program to now being integrated from the day you make the national team through your experience, and then also supporting you through that transition phase so that you can retire and transition into that next chapter, a healthy and thriving citizen. So, in terms of what game plan, how we deliver this program, it's really a human-centered approach. Often we do talk about this as, or maybe what you're familiar hearing it as a balanced athlete. And to us, that's not necessarily 50-50 of some of you in school right now. It's not 50-50 with high school now, going to training or different life, balancing different life pieces. An analogy we actually like to compare it to is more of balancing your personal sailboat. So as athletes, you're constantly navigating different conditions, which could be maybe weather or waves or equipment challenges, unexpected setbacks, where that goal isn't necessarily for the water to be calm every day, but it's to help build those skills and tools so that when the water or some of those circumstances when you're on your sailboat are rough, you have the skills in place to steady those waves. You can adapt and be versatile to anything that kind of comes your way. And then you have that skill set in your toolbox to return to that sense of balance. So balance isn't just physical. It's really shifting and taking care of your mental, emotional, and social well-being. So it'll shift between the seasons, your training cycle. It might be really stressful with exam seasons right now. Maybe you're going through an injury. And then we've got different athletes at different life stages. So maybe they're balancing family planning. So life balances look a little bit different. And so our role with game plan is really to recognize what those shifts are, help you prepare those tools to be successful and navigate those rough periods, and then figure out how you can return to that healthy balance zone. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as this program moves along, and hopefully we can share some of those, especially through our 4 game plan ambassadors, some of their leadership and experiences as athletes now of how they find balance and build those tools to navigate the rough waters. So I'm actually going to pass this over to Andrea, and she'll talk about the PlaySafe role.
Just to follow up on what Anna was talking about with the game plan service, I would encourage you as soon as you have access to that service to use it. I know people who are multiple Olympic champions, multiple world champions, who found that sort of performance lifestyle support to be the most important piece of their success, and they raved about it. So I would really encourage you to think about your transition into sport as well as your transition out. Really, like as soon as you have access to that, I would really encourage you to use it. So yeah, just my 2 cents there. So PlaySafe, if you're going to be a PlaySafe ambassador, I thought it would be helpful to explain just in 3 slides, I think, what PlaySafe actually is, what it looks like, what it's for, so that you have some understanding. I will tell you, this is the first time we have showed the public the new logo. PlaySafe itself has existed for about 4 years, but we've spent the last year completely redoing it, rebranding it, developing a new website that I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of because it's not quite live yet. But new logo, new tagline. The idea is there's a better way to play, right? We hear a lot about safe sport in the world, and we want to put the focus on sport being fantastic and what we can do to make it fantastic. So we created PlaySafe for people who do sport. It's not for organizations. It's not for board members. It's for you. It's for your parents and guardians. It's for coaches that are out there, coaching at community level or provincial level or national level. It's applicable to everybody. And so we've tried to make it accessible, was really important to us. Understandable language that even, you know, somebody who doesn't speak English as a first language can still understand and navigate. And we just want to put everything in one place for people. So resources and tools to help bridge some gaps in knowledge that we know are out there and overcome some obstacles in safe participation so that we can empower everybody to keep each other safe and to make each other's experience great. Yeah, we can move on there. Thank you. And so we built PlaySafe, the new version of PlaySafe, on a definition that was developed by iSpark. I don't know how many of you are aware that there are two sport systems in Canada. There's the mainstream sport system, which is Via Sport, Sport Nova Scotia, CSIs, I would imagine. I don't know if you guys straddle both. There's also an Indigenous sport system. And so our partner in British Columbia is iSpark, the Indigenous Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation Council, and they developed the most beautiful definition. Everybody was arguing about what safe sport is. Does it include concussions or not? Does it, like, what is it? What are we talking about? We can't help people make sport safer if they don't know what it is. So we loved their definition and we asked their permission to use it and build our work upon it, because I think it helps us understand really clearly. It is a holistic model. It's very similar to the game plan model. We want you to be whole people. We want you to be able to come to your sport and be who you are and be safe and be able to ask questions and challenge things and bring all of the pieces of you that are appropriate for sport to sport, right? So it's these four aspects of safety that iSpark developed. Physical safety, which is helping you reduce physical harm and promote proper recovery. That one seems to resonate really easily with people. Like you wear a helmet, or, you know, if you're playing beach volleyball, you want to make sure that there's nothing sharp under the sand. Those kinds of things make sense to people pretty intuitively. And if they get that, then it's pretty easy for them to understand that emotional safety is also important. Psychological safety, which is it's a very specific definition. It's a belief that you can speak up, share ideas, raise concerns, or admit mistakes without fear of being punished, humiliated, or excluded. And so there are conditions that you can create in your team to create and foster psychological safety. And the last piece here is cultural safety. So helping create an environment that recognizes, embraces, and celebrates cultural identities. And so you'll see our logo here is in the shape of a shield, because that means sort of security and protection. And it also is broken into 4 chunks, and each of those represents one of these types of safety. And I sort of love it. It looks a little bit like a team huddle with people's arms around each other, or it looks like 2 people hugging. So maybe that's just me, but yeah, that's why the logo is what it is. So next slide, please. A little sneak peek of what the website will look like. There is a QR code on this page. If you scan it, it will take you to the correct web address, but you will see the old website. We're within a week or 2 of having the new one up and running. It's just needs a few final tweaks, but it's hard to understand what a central hub would include if you haven't seen it. So I really wanted to show it to you. There's the home page. There's a page about defining what safe participation is, which is what I just ran you through. We'll have an education page with a couple of online courses, and we also run workshops. So the sign up for the workshops will be there. We'll have a resource hub that's like at a quick glance, you can see what topics fall under each of those categories of safety, so that even if we see people for 5 seconds, they get a sense of what we're talking about when we talk about safe participation. And then there'll be some how-to guides in there, how to have a difficult conversation, because that needs to happen a lot in sport. You know, conflict happens, it's normal, and being able to handle it well is a real skill. How to give and receive feedback, how to address conflict, and really quick and easy, sort of the Coles notes. What do you need to know? What else is in there? The flag tool. There's a link at the very top there to the flag tool, and I'll talk about that on the next slide, I think. Next slide, please. Okay, so if you have been asked to please join us as a PlaySafe ambassador, what are we hoping you're going to talk about when you go out and you do your engagements? And there's 2 really key things here. that safety is a necessary condition for performance and enjoyment. We're not talking about sport should be soft and fluffy. It's not that. Sport is competitive. People like to win. It's important, especially if you're on a high performance pathway. We're not saying that you can't do that. We're saying that if you're not safe, you can't give your best sustainably. If you're not physically safe, if you're not being given time to recover, or you're being asked to train on an injury, if you're not safe within your team, it's really difficult to perform at your best in the way that we want you to be able to perform at your best for your whole career as long as you want to be there. So that it's a necessary condition. So what we'd love for you to do is tell your personal stories about what you do or what those people around you do to create those kinds of conditions, to create positive and just like sports should be great. Why wouldn't it be great? So it might be something that you've noticed, something your coach did, something a teammate did, something another team did. There was some great stories during the last Rugby World Cup about the Japanese team leaving their change rooms absolutely spotless, even after they lost. And it was just those kinds of stories that really connect for people. And what we'd love for you to do is let people know what PlaySafe is and encourage them to visit the website. So that's it. We're not asking you to deliver full workshops on what safe participation is. We have those separately. We're really just trying to raise awareness and to help you connect people to things that they might need to know. For example, if things aren't safe, because we know that people have good and bad experiences in sport. That just happens. It's a truth. We're not trying to dance around it. So we also have tools to help people navigate when something's not quite right. It's sometimes hard to know if something's not right or not. Something might be a little bit icky and you don't really know if you should do something. The flag tool, there's a QR code on this screen. If you scan it, it will take you to the actual flag tool. We're not waiting for that one to go live. That one's out there in the world already. And you can either use a little quiz to help you figure out, like, how serious was this really? Was this just sort of a bit icky? It's a yellow flag and somebody needs to have a conversation with someone? Or should I raise a concern? Should I make a report? Those kinds of things. So it's intended to get people to information about what they could do in that situation without us knowing the situation. It's completely anonymous. It's a multiple choice quiz. You don't put in any information about yourself or what happened. You can run it as many times as you like. We don't track any data except how many people use it. Okay, so it's there to try and help people get to the information they might need in that moment. And then if they don't know how to do those things, it also has resources at the bottom to help you do them. So you can use it if something happened to you or if you saw something happen to somebody else, and it'll hopefully be a good guide. And that's it for now, I think, Anna.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea. So with that, I think we will introduce and have an opportunity to meet who our 2026 cohort of athlete ambassadors are. So again, we've got 2 levels. We've got 4 game plan athlete ambassadors. On the screen there, we've got Danielle Main, who's located at the Vancouver campus here. So she's a para rowing athlete. We've got Claudia Laus Liu, located in the Fraser Valley, a karate athlete. Elias Hancock in Victoria with rugby, and Berkeley Brown, who can't make it today. She's competing in freestyle in Finland today, hoping to make the Milano Cortina Games, but she's one of our Whistler ambassadors as well. So on the screen, you'll see just a couple of the roles and responsibilities that we're hoping to see from these game plan ambassadors. So each role has some different expectations, but I did want to have an opportunity to introduce who these athletes are. So we do have a couple of coaches on the call today, and I have received a couple of letters on behalf of the athletes in terms of who these ambassadors are, and why they applied for the role. So I am actually gonna introduce or have Sean come off mute to kick us off with the game plan ambassadors and maybe speak to who Elias is, both on and off the field.
Yeah, thank you for having me tonight. Incredibly honored to be able to speak on behalf of Elias and introduce him to the group here. an Ottawa University grad, and for those who don't know much about Canadian rugby, not a traditional rugby powerhouse, but a life not only on the field but off with exemplary, and earned an opportunity to join our rugby 15 national development team out in Victoria. Very quickly he caught the eye of myself being an evaluator for the men's national team. Like a coach, you always look for someone who takes ownership and who's humble and coachable, and someone who wants to compete with not only their teammates but with themselves every day. And Elias was all of those things and many more. And each year we had him in the program, his leadership grown. He became a little bit more comfortable with his group and his teammates, and I think over time he really gained power in his voice and being an incredible leader to the young teammates that he would have. I'm very proud of what he's accomplished thus far in his rugby career, and I know there's plenty more to go. And I certainly look forward to his next steps in rugby and in life. And he applies for medical school as well. So everybody, Elias Hancock.
Amazing. Thanks, Sean. And Elias, if you have any words, I know I put all of you on the spot, but if you have anything else to add to Sean's, but yeah, thrilled to have you on as a game plan ambassador.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Sean, thanks for the introduction. And yeah, just really excited to get to work with you all, and really excited to see what the capacity and reach that this group has to achieve.
Awesome. Thank you. The next person I am going to introduce via a video that I'm hoping you can hear is Danielle Main. So we have her coach that wasn't able to join us live today, but did send through a video. So maybe give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
Have to. You can reshare, Anna, and then enable the sound.
Reshare.
I think there's a setting that says enable sound for video when you do the share.
Okay, we'll give this another intro.
To take a couple minutes here to. Is
that better? Okay, great.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I work with Danielle Main. I want to take a couple minutes here to introduce her. Unfortunately, I can't be there in person tonight, but I wanted to say a couple words. So Danielle and I believe we met in 2019. She can correct me if I'm wrong there, and have worked together ever since. So we went through the pandemic together and overcome a lot of things. I remember that first summer, her showing up, and I believe one of her friends had told her that she might be good at the sport, and that's all she needed in order to try it. And turns out she was good. She was also very driven. And even from the get-go, she had really high achieving goals. And I've seen her go through being a new rower, very fresh, to this past fall, having competed at Worlds. So huge round of applause for her. She is well on her way to achieving those original goals. She's also been great at adapting. So like I said, there have been obstacles along the way, as there inevitably will be. But we have been able to problem solve creatively and keep pushing through. In addition, outside of the boat, Danielle is a great support for her community, both as working as an RMT, and then also as being a driving force behind Leash of Hope, which is a program that helps train guide dogs for the community, which is huge. I'm so proud of her for being selected for this program, and I'm really excited for the year ahead. Again, sorry I'm not there tonight, but I look forward to hearing all about it later. So thank you so much.
And Danielle, I know you're online today. Did you have anything else to add? And I'll just unmute you actually, if I can. I don't know if I can unmute you, but we can come back to that one. I might nudge Noah to help us out with, oh, there we go.
There. Did that work?
Amazing. Yep.
Okay,
you go.
there. Oh my gosh, that was quite a surprise. Yeah, I think that Mary is correct. I basically switched from horse sports and hockey to rowing and being very competitive. I am a blind athlete and had to learn to row through COVID with having someone not close enough to provide me any kinesthetic feedback on what a rowing stroke actually looked like. So learned it entirely auditory from a distance. And Mary has been, she, other than me, she actually has like retired from coaching and she's been really amazing. So that was a really lovely surprise. But yeah, I'm really grateful to be here and really excited about the next year. So thank you for having me as part of the team.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. We're so excited to see you develop as a athlete ambassador and mentor for some of these athletes.
Awesome.
And I'm also going to pass the floor over to Pam to introduce our or not our last, but one of our remaining game plan ambassadors. And you're on mute. I don't know how to there you go.
How about that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure my camera doesn't seem to be working forward facing, so I'll sit here in the dark, but I'm very pleased to introduce this ambassador tonight, Claudia Lauslu. She is our Karate Canada's #1 ranked athlete in women's kata, which is forms for anyone who doesn't know karate. There's the sparring and then the forms. I've been fortunate to know Claudia since she was a young girl, and have watched her grow into an amazing young lady and a very talented athlete. Claudia is a kinesiology SFU grad. And some of the things that make Claudia so special are her exceptional leadership skills within our provincial and national team programs. Her dedication, professionalism, and positive influence on those around her are always something that people can relate to. She's always the person that young athletes can gravitate towards. She's got a very inviting personality. She's a big jokester, so not many people shy away from her. She leads first and foremost by example. Her commitment to training, her disciplined approach, and her relentless work ethic set a high standard for all of her teammates. But beyond all of those individual efforts, Claudia actively fosters team cohesion and support. She regularly reaches out to the team before we travel to big events. She's often the one that's coordinating travel and coordinating roommates and coordinating team activities so that everyone feels included and prepared, which is great. The team just loves her. I can't speak highly enough about the wonderful young lady that she is. From Karate Canada perspective, I coach her on the national team. But I feel our organization is fortunate to have a representative that embodies such integrity and dedication and leadership. Claudia's impact extends well beyond her competitive results. She elevates the culture of our national team, and she exemplifies what every athlete should have on and off the mat. I'm so proud of her, and I can't wait to see what else she has to show us and what else she can do.
Amazing. Thanks, Pam. And Claudia, I know you're fresh off a flight from Cairo or coming home. So do you have any words to the team? And then welcome to the group.
Yeah, thank you. That was a surprise too, to hear to hear anything being talked about me, especially from my coach. Yeah, I just got back from Cairo with Pam actually on Monday, and I came back with food poisoning and one luggage lighter. So I lost a lot, but I came back and I gained so much as well, right? And that's from the experience itself. And yeah, I'm honestly just so excited. I love to talk. I love to make friends, to make connections, and to meet everybody and just build relationships. I think is the most important thing to me. And over the time of me, like after the pandemic, really focusing on this sport, I really think that it wasn't just about the sport, it was about my life overall. And like that balance that we talked about earlier in this webinar, I not webinar in the Zoom meeting was is something I really value, and I wish more people knew how to create that balance. So I'm willing to learn a lot more, and I'm really excited to see how much everyone can grow out of this, including myself. So thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, Claudia. And I am just going to briefly introduce Berkeley. I know she's not on the call today, but her strength coach from CSI Pacific just sent through a couple of quick notes. So Andrew sent in a note that said, I'm proud to introduce Berkeley Brown as a dedicated Freestyle Canada hopeful who brings exceptional resilience, positivity, and leadership to the CSI Pacific Gym in Whistler. Supporting Berkeley through 2 rehabs of an ACL injury has shown me how deeply committed she is to her sport and how much value she adds into our training environment. Berkeley approaches every session with determination and consistency. And even during the most challenging stages of rehab, she shows up ready to work, demonstrating the resilience required as a high-performance athlete. Her attitude not only drives her own progress, but also inspires those training around her. What truly sets Berkeley apart is her inclusive, welcoming culture. She helps create at the Whistler campus. She connects easily with athletes from different sports and backgrounds, offering encouragement, shared energy, and helping make the gym a safe space where everyone feels valued. Her presence elevates the environment, contributes or celebrates others' successes, supports them through setbacks, and contributes to a team atmosphere built on respect and positivity. Berkeley's also a game plan champion, exemplifying what it means to be a balanced athlete. She consistently pushes herself outside of her comfort zone, both on and off the hill, challenging herself and modeling a holistic approach to performance, growth, and well-being. Really excited that Berkeley was selected as a CSI game plan ambassador, and she embodies resilience, inclusiveness, and the spirit of high performance sport. So thrilled to have Berkeley as our 4th game plan ambassador, and excited for them to get going. I know we're a little bit behind, but we'll quickly also run through the PlaySafe ambassadors. So again, we've got 8 PlaySafe ambassadors. The deliverables are a little bit different for these athletes versus our game plan athlete ambassadors. And you've already been introduced to your Regional Sport Alliance leads who are also on this call today. And similar to our game plan ambassadors, I have received letters for coaches who are not able to join the call this afternoon, but I am going to ask a few of you that are on. So I might start with Jeremy Grant to share.
Hi, yeah. So like most coaches here, I think the athlete we're bringing in is very special. I think she's a great candidate as a PlaySafe ambassador. As I regularly get feedback as a coach, is how I could be doing better to create a positive training environment. And the advice is very good. I think Sophia is on the younger side of some of the cohort here. She's a grade 9 student at Reynolds Secondary School. Very passionate about advocating for girls in sport. Again, something I appreciate. It's something that we struggle with in judo, is keeping as many girls in sport as the boys. So I appreciate that piece. She'll want me to make sure I'm clear that she's a multi-sport athlete. On there we have judo, and I'm her judo coach, so that's what I know best about her. She's also very involved with track and field. She's balancing 2 sports. Has been on provincial teams for both track and for judo. She's from Nanaimo, now living in Victoria, so finding her space here. She's got 3 older sisters, so really fighting for independence and her voice. Yeah, and leadership is something she's very passionate about. She's pushed for girls-only programming, and she's started to build a nice community of young girls in judo who I really hope stick around, and I know she'll be a big part of that.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. And Sophia, if you have anything you want to say to the team before we move on?
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. I'm really excited to get this opportunity and learn lots about being an ambassador. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sophia. And I also know that I'm actually going to pass the call over to Doris.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped to introduce to you guys Aaliyah Smith. Aaliyah is from Nelson, BC, and she is a cross-country ski racer. I have had the pleasure of knowing Aaliyah since she was a baby, and I have coached her since her first steps on snow, which is pretty exciting to see. She's an unbelievable Nordic ski racer, and she works really hard. She's super dedicated. She's up early mornings doing her first workouts, and in the afternoon, up until just before this call, she was doing her second workout for the day. And I don't really know very many athletes that are able to turn on focused as hard as she does when it comes to racing. It's incredible to watch. She's a real core member of our team. She's made it onto the Nordic Canada Prospects team, and she's also been on the BC ski team now this is her second year. Off the trail, she's a grade 12 student. And of course, she shines in that as well. She's a very good student, but she's also a leader. She participates in all sorts of leadership programs, fundraising events within her high school for things like the local food centers and girls forward events. She's going to be an excellent ambassador, and lucky for you folks, she's also a very good baker.
Amazing. We'll have to tell James that that's a requirement, that Aaliyah can drop off some baked goods. And Aaliyah, if you have a couple of words before we go to the next athlete.
Thank you so much for the intro, Doris, and for all your endless support. I'm really excited to become an athlete ambassador, and I'm really grateful that you guys put this on. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great learning experience.
Awesome. Excited to have you on the team. And I'm going to pass it over to Albert, if you have a couple of words.
Good evening. I have the privilege of working with Gabriel Dyer. If you want to talk about humility and resilience, Gabriel was playing basketball in Ontario, decided one day that he was going to try out rowing, joined the novice team, transferred to UVic, and 16 months later, he is training with the national team last week up in Chula Vista. So the trajectory of his learning and his sort of humility and curiosity in that space has been incredible to work with. He's currently sitting in an airport in Kelowna, I believe, and I think is on this call, so I think he made it. That was going to be touch and go. But before he left, he stopped by into my office and just checked in on his trip to Chula Vista and just gave me feedback on sort of like the impact of it on him, and then shared how it could impact his teammates, and is a tremendous team builder. Outside of this, he works actively on our fundraising committee that raises $300,000 a year. And he's actively involved in mentoring athletes that he sees coming up through the program. So it's a privilege to work with him. I think he's probably never heard this much positive feedback in one space from me. So that should bring a smile onto his face. And I really look forward to seeing what this does. And just a quick shout out to Matthias. Good to see you on this call as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Albert. And yeah, thanks, Gabe, for tuning in from the airport. If you've got any notes to share, then I'll move on to the next athlete.
Yeah, I'm just in I'm in the Tim Hortons dining area right now, so I'll just be brief and say thank you so much, Albert. That was wonderful, and I am happy to be here, and I can't wait to get to work. So, thank you.
Thanks, Gabe. And I'm going to pass it over to Selena to introduce our next athlete.
Okay. All right. So today I have the absolute pleasure of introducing someone who I've had the joy to watch grow since her very first day on the pool deck back in 2014. So that's almost 12 years now. So from that moment, it was clear she had something special: determination, heart, and true grit. Since then, Kira Liu has gone on to represent the Duke University with very, very much pride and excellence. And back in 2022, to give you a little bit of a view on her results, back when she was a junior, just after COVID, when there was very little training, she won the national title on women's 3-meter in Group A, which is the hardest group in diving at the junior level, with no competition preparation beforehand. And I got the chance to be there and cheer her on, which was one of my favorite moments of her career. But beyond results, she stands out most is the person that she is. Kira is an incredible teammate, one of those people who's always, the support always carries you through at the hardest moments. And I can honestly say I wouldn't have gotten through my career without her as my teammate. She's also someone who gives back. So through Hoops for Hope at Claremont, it's Claremont, right? High school. No, not Claremont High School. Well, Mount Dog High School, right? Her and her brother have created this event to raise money for breast cancer research and has made a real difference in her community. And of course, she's also the loudest teammate on any team unless I'm there. Most recently, we've developed a new club, and she's become such a huge support for her teammates, the coaches, including myself as a new coach, and for the families that are on our team. Even though she's at Duke, she's a very steady presence for everyone here while she's away at school. And I've also get the pleasure of coaching her when she comes home for the summer, which is incredibly rewarding for me. So I'm very proud of the athlete that she has become, the leader, and more importantly, the human. It's truly an honor to introduce you here today, and I can't wait for you all to get to know her.
Awesome. Thanks, Lena. And Kira, do you have any quick hellos to the group?
Well, Selena's got me blushing over here, but I'm just super excited to be a part of this group, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I will say I could argue that I'm louder than Selena, but but no, I'm very excited to make change in any way that I can. So yeah, thank you.
And welcome to the group. Looking forward to seeing you grow. I have a few more letters from some coaches that unfortunately weren't able to make it just with timing. So I'm going to carry on and read those. We're going to start with Levi. So Levi's high school coach sent in a letter. So I'm proud to introduce Levi Venables, an outstanding young leader and a strong candidate for the CSI Pacific Ambassador Program. I've coached Levi for the past 2 years, and in that time, he's consistently demonstrated exceptional character, sportsmanship, and genuine commitment to his team. Levi leads by example. His work ethic is evident in every practice, but what truly sets him apart is how he supports others. He goes out of his way to encourage new athletes, offers tips, and makes sure that everyone feels included. He often takes the initiative during practice, leading warm-ups, clearly teaching technique, and showing a level of leadership and communication that is remarkable for a high school athlete. His dedication to his team extends beyond the track. Over spring break, without being asked, he shared workouts and training ideas with our team's Google Classroom to help teammates stay active and prepared. This initiative reflects his genuine investment in the success and confidence of others. At competitions, Levi models fairness, respect, and true sportsmanship. He brings positivity to every environment, helping create a team culture that is supportive, welcoming, fun, capturing the true spirit of a high school sport. Levi embodies TrueSport principles through how he trains, how he treats others, and how he leads. He is a role model with his peers and would be an exceptional athlete ambassador. So welcome, Levi. If you've got a quick note to say hello to everyone.
Yeah, that was a very heartfelt note from my high school coach. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna go and thank him for that tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just super excited that I got on this program and to meet new people. And yeah, I'm honestly ecstatic. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you grow as well. The next athlete I'm going to introduce is Lindsay. Melissa is on a flight, so she sent through a note just to say hi. So Lindsay consistently leads by example and shows younger athletes what it truly means to be high performance. Her commitment to training, both on and off the ice, sets a clear standard for discipline, preparation, and professionalism within our program. She has a genuine passion for advancing curling in BC and is always willing to assist in athlete development. Whether she's coaching at youth camps, supporting training camps, or helping RPC programming, Lindsay brings energy, knowledge, and a strong desire to give back to the sport. Lindsay is also a mentor to many of our program athletes. She provides guidance both formally and informally, offering strategic insight, modeling strong practice habits, and being a calm, reliable presence at events. She elevates the people around her simply by how she carries herself. What makes Lindsay's leadership especially impactful is how naturally it blends with her role as a high performance athlete. She doesn't step into leadership occasionally. She embodies it every day in how she shows up, supports others, and invests in the broader success of the program. Lindsay has been working alongside me for about a year now, and I am so grateful every day for all that she does for me and athletes and curling in BC. Yeah, so sorry, Lindsay, Melissa, I think her flight got delayed, but if you want to come off mute for a quick note, but looking forward to welcoming you to the group.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to meet everyone and get to work alongside some other high performance athletes in BC. I'm probably one of the older ones in the PlaySafe ambassadors group, but that's okay. I just hope to maybe provide some help to some younger athletes that I wish I had when I was their age. So that's kind of what I'm doing this for.
Awesome. Okay, the last few athletes, we've got Samuel Peters. I'm proud to introduce Samuel Peters as an exceptional para-alpine athlete whose determination, maturity, and leadership make him an outstanding candidate for the Athlete Ambassador program. Coaching Samuel has shown me how resilient and driven he is, both in pursuit of high-performance sport and in the way he carries himself as a teammate. Samuel approaches training with focus and purpose, always looking for ways to refine his technique and push his limits. He brings a thoughtful, professional attitude to every session, and his progress is a direct reflection of his work ethic and commitment. What sets Samuel apart is how naturally he supports and elevates the people around him. He's encouraging with younger and developing athletes, quick to share tips, and always willing to help others navigate the challenges of para-alpine sport. He has a strong sense of responsibility within the team environment and leads with quiet confidence rather than attention seeking. As a para-athlete, Samuel routinely faces systems, environments, and expectations that aren't always designed for accessibility in mind, but he advocates clearly, respectfully of what he needs. And whether related to equipment, communication, or safety, he helps create a more inclusive environment for everyone. At the same time, he embraces every challenge, adapts quickly, and consistently approaches obstacles as opportunities for growth. Samuel represents values of resilience, integrity, and respect. He's a role model on and off the hill, and I have no doubt he will be an excellent ambassador for CSI Pacific, sharing his story, supporting his peers, and helping build a stronger and more inclusive sport community. So welcome to the group, Sam. And that was a quick note from Mark.
Thank you.
Awesome. And to wrap up the introductions, Matthias Shorter. I'm proud to introduce Matthias Shorter as an athlete whose leadership, integrity, and commitment to sport make him an exceptional candidate for the CSI Pacific Athlete Ambassador Program. As a UBC varsity rower and rowing BC athlete, Matthias shows every day that high performance sport is about character as much as capability. Matthias brings a thoughtful, disciplined presence to training. He models professionalism, showing up prepared, mastering fundamentals, and supporting younger athletes with guidance on training, academics, and selection pressures. He's a steady, reliable influence who helps set the tone of our team culture. What sets Matthias apart is his maturity and broad perspective, his experience as a multi-sport athlete, officiant, and student leadership and community service have helped shape his ability to create a safe, respectful environment, both in and out of sport. He's deeply committed to community impact and regularly encourages teammates to see sport as a platform for broader contribution. Matthias would represent the CSI Pacific Ambassador Program with professionalism, authenticity, and a genuine desire to uplift others. He embodies the values that we hope to see in the next generation of leaders in sport. So Matthias, that was from your UBC coach. If you've got a couple of words just to say hi to the cohort, and that wraps us up for introductions.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Hello, Albert. Good to see you. I'm shocked you guys were able to get a response out of Mike. That's not every day, but I'm super excited to be a part of this program, and I look forward to learning a little bit and also hopefully being a good role model for the younger generation. So super excited.
Amazing. So sorry that took a little bit longer, but it's so nice to actually hear your stories, and for the coaches that have been invested in your development, it's nice to give them an opportunity to celebrate you and who you are both on and off the field. I'll roll forward to the next section. We might move through this one relatively quickly, but you'll hear from a couple of different folks from our team in terms of some of the roles and responsibilities of this program. So I'm going to pass the call over to Noah, who's just going to speak a little bit more about our communication background.
Hey everyone, I'm Noah Wheelock. I'm the general manager for CSI Pacific. First of all, congratulations to everybody for doing this. I was part of the vetting program, and you've definitely beat out a lot of people, a lot of great applicants. So you should be very proud of getting this far. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll try and I'll be quick here. So I think you probably know most of this, but part of as being an ambassador, we're going to share content that you guys create. We create our own at CSI Pacific, but we like being behind the scenes a little bit more. You all are the performers, and we want to amplify what you guys have to say. We think that's way more interesting generally than what we have to say. So we're kind of hopeful for putting your stuff out there, and that's going to be shared through our own website, through social media, through newsletters, and then through the Regional Sport Alliance and Via Sport themselves. We're very proud of our brand at CSI Pacific. We like to think of ourselves as sort of like the Apple or Rolex of what we do, sort of really at the upper part. So we protect our brand mightily. So that's another kudos to all of you for being part of this. With that in mind, we want to look at the content that you create before we put it out. So we'd like to receive that content, photo and text, to make sure that it's on brand with what we're trying to do at CSI Pacific. As the year goes on, that'll be easier, or as each individual month for you goes on, that'll be something that'll become clearer through the time. Even in things like Instagram, we're happy to do collaborate posts. So if you want to do a collaboration with us, we take a look at it, and then if we like it, we share it. If we don't, we'll kind of send you back some notes as to how to kind of put an edit together for that stuff. That's sometimes a little easier than emailing everybody all that content, but there'll be different ways. When you do a blog post, we'll just kind of receive it, go through and edit, go through photos, and do that kind of thing. But yeah, more is better. Send us all the stuff that you like. That's always great. Too little is always a challenge. Too much, we can edit it down. Selena is my right hand here, and between the two of us, we'll kind of make sure that we put stuff out that's great for both yourselves and for ourselves. You probably get this a lot. Most of you have probably been doing this as part of your PSO or NSO as well. But the key to any messaging is just authenticity. just be yourselves. I'm sort of laughing there because I realize I'm sort of saying be yourselves and then send me the content to edit it. But ultimately, we're mostly just kind of want to make sure that it's on brand. But we really just want each of you to tell the story of your day. And part of that too is to kind of try and think outside yourself too, that you all live fairly exceptional lives to the average person in terms of what your dedication is to your day, what your dedication is to your sport, how you navigate work or school or all of the above. So if you try and think of, hey, this is just my normal day, but actually I had to do this. I got up at 5:15, or I had to go do this, or I had to take some bicarb pills, which people are like, what the heck's that? All these things. Think about what might be interesting to people on the outside, what to your uncle or aunt who doesn't really know your sport, stuff like that. I always kind of encourage that there can be little stuff that feels day to day that's super exciting for everyone else. But yeah, our goal is just to help you create meaningful content that everybody can latch onto. Thanks, Anna.
No worries.
And so part of this too is partnership outreach. So most of you have used the benefits passport or some kind of benefits that we've had in the past. I would imagine a large amount of you have kind of at least have some awareness of it. But we have over 300 partners throughout BC, and we use the term partner a little loosely there. They're really just people supporting sport. We don't necessarily contribute a giant amount back to them. They're just businesses or people that really want to kind of help out with high performance sport in BC. And that goes anything from gyms that offer free membership to medical practitioners who provide excellent discounts on physiotherapy or athletic therapy, or quick hours to ensure that athletes get in and can get back competing or training right away, to food stuff partners, which are things like grocery stores or cafes, and do these kind of things. Life can be pretty expensive. Life can be extra expensive when you're trying to train and compete and go on the road and do everything else. So we really value these partners, and they, to be honest, CSI and the Regional Sport Alliance work to put these partnerships together, but all the benefits go to yourselves. We don't receive any kind of anything for this. So it's really just stuff so that athletes throughout BC can kind of get benefits to have a cheaper, easier lifestyle and help them support their life while they train and compete. So as part of that, for the ambassadors, we'd really love any ambassadors to kind of shout out and our partners as much as possible, and kind of give a little voice to that. It doesn't have to be all the time, but our partners love it. They're doing it off, they're cutting into their own profits by helping out. So any kind of support that we can give by having the athletes say, I went to this cafe and, I got some coffee. It's the best coffee I had, or we love it because this helps me after my training or before my training, I go and do this, or anything that I go to this gym. It's unbelievable, this benefit that they give me so that I can go and compete and not have to worry about this bill while I have to, pay for ferries to go train on the mainland or do whatever. These kind of things as you go, just to kind of be conscientious about ways that you can give these partners a shout out through social media, and be aware they are so thankful for it, and it's not very interesting. We do it too. CSI absolutely thanks these partners, but again, they're doing it for the athletes. They're not doing it for us. So anything that the athletes can do, we love that, and that helps them come back for another year and maybe gets other partners and bigger partners and better partners in the future too. So anything is a big bonus. The ways that you can acknowledge partners, you'll see it on that slide there, but you'll get with the deck. But things like a thank you card, again, a social post, a video message saying that, tagging them every time, and even a signed keepsake for them. We give them a decal that they put on their wall, but like something signed too, just so that they really feel part of it. And you'll get thank you cards as part of what you're going. So ways to kind of do it. You can see an example down there for Nesters Market, who are up in Whistler, and one of our amazing partners, they give us money for grants and everything each year. So we make sure to kind of give them some extra love.
Thanks, Noah. And I will pass it on to Selena, who's going to speak to the monthly social media campaign.
All right. Just a little background. I was also an athlete. For those of you who don't know me, I was a diver here at CSI for 15 years. And then while I did that, I was kind of doing what you guys were doing, are going to be doing, but more of like going out and finding partners. So that's why those pictures of me embarrassingly are on there. That was a really long time ago. Thanks, Anna, for that. But I'll keep it brief so you guys can move along here. But essentially, I am going to be the one posting all of the content that you provide us or collaborating with you with, who you'll be kind of talking to those 2 months before your month that's coming up to create that plan. Kira, obviously we don't have 2 months to talk about it, but it's fine. You'll be home and we'll meet and talk. But and Sam, I'll probably make a meeting with you rather quickly so that we can discuss that. But I have a list of a bunch of topics and ideas of to kind of give you for y'all to think of what you want to post and get out there. So something like one, intro, two, like your background or your story or something that you've been trying, like a message to get out there. What are your values in sport? Like a behind the scenes training competition thing, like anything that you guys want to put out there, I want to help you do it. So we can meet me or whoever is also your link to here. So it might be Anna or Brienne or some other people, and we'll all kind of meet and kind of just create that plan for you for your month when that comes up. But yeah, I'll have Anna send that to Anna, those little suggestions, ideas, so you can think about it beforehand. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. It's supposed to be easy and fun, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Thanks, Selena. And Brienne dropped off, but like we said in our introduction email, you are getting an ambassador kit. We've had some generous contributions from some of our provincial community partners. So there's a few packages or pieces in there from Herschel, Dunbar, ROI will be providing a really nice backpack for some of you guys, or for all of you. And then Outweigh has also contributed some pieces. So there's a photo down there that Brienne took of the making of the kit. So I'm hoping that we can get those out to you before January. And I'll send a reminder note out for those that were waiting on shirt sizes as well. But just some things to look forward to and a quick thank you. Yeah, no.
Yeah, just two more things on this too. I was just going to say, as you get these, we'd love to get some photos of you. You know, we'll get backpacks with the backpack, things like that. So that's a great way for us to kind of shout out with our partners as well as we kind of do the things each of the ones, so we can have a easy way in that, you know, to kind of add that into a post. Doesn't have to be anything big in terms of the writing, but we can at least tag them and they'll love that. Again, seeing you with it. And one more thing I was going to say, just with that kind of a thing with the partnership, is each of you got selected as an ambassador for a huge number of reasons, but there were a few too where we knew that you already had some engagement on social media with CSI, kind of without any prior to your ambassadorship and stuff like that. We noticed it. It made a big difference. Partners notice that too. People notice when you're doing these kind of things. So those are kind of things that even, you know, for future jobs, for future anything, these are always great things to kind of be doing, because people definitely notice in the background, even if it's not overt. So.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. And that's a big push on social media. Like that is your first introduction into folks who are inspired by you. Like those, if you're currently a high school athlete, those younger level athletes are looking up to you. For those game plan athletes, high school athletes are looking up to who you are, what you post, what brand image you're storytelling on social. So it's just a reminder, it's the first introduction, and that's really where some of those media folks and partners are gonna look up your social account, and that's kind of your first introduction to the world. So plays a big part in who you are. Um, last little bit, like we mentioned, and like your workbook says, there are a couple of public speaking opportunities that we would love to help and support you throughout this program. Our PlaySafe ambassadors will touch base with us when we connect with you throughout the year, but we're hoping that you can lead, to Andrea's point, just share who you are as an ambassador, what you think safe participation is, and some of those values and lessons that you're learning throughout the program. We're also going to ask you to share 2 reflection blogs. We've got some prompts in there in terms of what we'd love to hear from you, but as with this program, it's your story and your journey to share. So it's an opportunity for you to provide some of that information as well. And then for the game plan athletes, we would love for you to lead 4 public speaking engagements. Again, with our role of CSI Pacific and then the Regional Sport Alliance, it's not a solo effort. We are here to support you and introduce you to some of those opportunities, work with you to find the right audience in terms of some of the goals or storytelling avenues that you want to speak to. So that's where we'll lean in, connect you with the right regional opportunities from there. So we're not just kind of pushing you out into the world to share your story. We're here to support you and make sure that you feel confident sharing your story. The other critical piece that we're really excited about for this program is a mentorship opportunity. So the differentiation piece between the game plan ambassadors and the PlaySafe ambassadors is we want there to be an element of peer sharing and peer mentorship. It's not meant to be a coaching, game plan ambassadors coaching the PlaySafe ambassadors. It's more of just an opportunity for you to learn and connect and share different experiences with athletes that maybe have gone through the same process or same pathway that you have, to pick their brain and maybe just learn from them, and also just to kind of share experiences, celebrate wins, celebrate challenges, celebrate your stories, and maybe how you would articulate or tell your story differently and learn from them. So we pre-selected who your mentorship pairings are. It's 1 game plan athlete to 2 mentees. So Berkeley is matched with Aaliyah and Gabe. Danielle Main, we've got you partnered with Lindsay and Sophia. Elias is with Samuel and Matthias. And Claudia Laus, we've got with Levi and Kira. So we'll touch base with all of you in terms of what we think that might look like. Again, it's kind of up to you to craft what those check-ins look like. You'll have an opportunity throughout some of the onboarding sessions or training sessions to guide those conversations, but we'll make sure that you feel confident and comfortable in those sharing pieces. All right. I know we went quite a bit over time than what I initially had anticipated. So with that, I might do like a quick, if you need to grab a quick 2-minute water break, and then I'm going to pass the floor over to Geoff Hackett. Before we leave for a quick coffee or a quick water, does anyone have any questions about that long introduction before we shift into our goal setting workshop? Or we're ready to push through?
Hey, and I'll just jump in. I would recommend we just definitely take 2 minutes, get up and just stretch your legs, reset the attention span. I'm not going to keep you past 7 o'clock, which is what you were all shared with us advertised. So I'll make some adjustments to what I'm going to do. But yeah, let's just take a couple minutes. We'll get started in 6:23. And we'll carry on. Okay. Thank you. All right, everyone, we'll get started in a few moments here. If you just come back to the meeting. Awesome. Okay, it looks like we got most people back online. That's great. I will. I'll just continue on here. So first of all, it's great to be involved with this evening. My name is Geoff, as Anna mentioned, and I'm a mental performance consultant at CSI Pacific. Actually, in kind of getting connected with this program and seeing the list of athletes and some of the coaches online, I have had the opportunity to meet and work with some of you in the past. So it's congratulations on being selected for this program, and to all the athletes and coaches who I haven't had a chance to meet in person yet. Congratulations to you as well, and I'm really excited for you for this opportunity that you have in front of you for the next year. So what Anna asked me to do is just to kind of help facilitate a few ideas around kind of a fairly important part of this program for you as an athlete is really just your opportunity to organize your ideas and organize your your own sort of purpose, essentially, in terms of how you communicate that purpose to the general public. And I think that this program provides you a great platform to do that. But it's very important for each of your own perspectives to have an understanding of what really drives you as an athlete, and what's the story that you want to share, and what's the information that you want people to know about yourself in terms of your experiences and the role that sport has in your life, and all the amazing qualities that sport can give and enrich our lives is a really powerful message. And it's one that we hope you have an opportunity to share with your community throughout the next year. So what I wanted to do this evening is kind of frame a little bit of a few exercises, a few activities. I'm going to condense these a little bit just based on some of the time that we have left. But I just wanted to pull up a resource here that will just kind of help guide you a little bit. So where I'm looking here is your athlete ambassador workbook, and we're in the second section here. And there's going to be a few kind of points throughout this that I wanted to try and just highlight with a few activities that I'd like to do this evening. Ideally, what we're going to try and do is get into some breakout groups with the mentorship pairings that we have. I think it's a good first opportunity to meet some people that you're connected with. I had to edit those a little bit based on who's here and who's not here. But what we're doing tonight is I wanted to kind of share a little bit of information around this idea of sharing what your purpose is as an athlete, and then really linking the personal values that you hold that really define that purpose for you. And then from that idea of linking those values and the purpose together are really like the behaviors that you bring forward as an athlete that really define who you are and how you show up within your sport and within the communities that you're a part of. And so all of these things are really tied together as this idea called the golden circle. It's I should say it's a concept that has been developed by a guy named Simon Sinek. He's like a popular psychologist. You may recognize him, seeing him videos floating around online. But he has this idea that connects three kind of main concepts that are really a good sort of structure for us to kind of hold when we're trying to understand what our purpose is, what the values we have, and how those values show up in the world. And so the idea here is that we're trying to link in these concepts of why do we do what we do, how do we do it, and then what are the actions? What's the observable things that our coaches, our teammates, our family, our community members would see from us? And so when we're trying to kind of link some of these ideas back to this athlete ambassador program, it's a really good kind of framework to kind of help guide some of the work that you're going to be asked to do around creating your story and sharing your story with the sport community. So if I kind of give you like a little bit more of a breakdown of what these things are defined as, we're going to kind of float in between these two pieces here, and that's really what that athlete workbook is around, is getting you to think about what your purpose is and what values that link to the purpose that you hold. And then once you have an idea of what those values are, you can start to try and understand like what's the actual behaviors that you demonstrate consistently that really connect everything together. All right, and so what I wanted to do here is just kind of briefly kind of give you a little bit of, we've all heard the term values before, but just to really kind of like clearly define what we're kind of talking about here. Values are kind of personal qualities that you have that really define how you show up in the world. All right, and so they're different than goals in the sense that values endure. Goals can be accomplished and kind of checked off the list, and a value stays consistent for you regardless of the context of the situation. All right, so they really guide the behavior and guide the actions in terms of how you want to show up, how you want to apply yourself towards your sport, how you want to build quality relationships, how you want to develop kind of a professional approach to the work that you do. These are really kind of the qualities that sport can give us that, really outline, a lot of benefit that we get as a person by competing in high-level sport. And so they really provide a good foundation for our actions here. So what I wanted to do is as an idea to kind of like, before we kind of really put you on the spot to think about what your values are, and that's not necessarily something I'm going to do this evening, I wanted to do an activity to get you thinking a little bit about the big picture, about your identity as an athlete and the role that sport has had in your life and how it shapes some of your life experiences up to this point. And so I wanted to do a activity with us all in some breakout rooms, just to kind of, as an initial part, once again, small group, kind of meet your mentor and meet the people within your cohort, and do a little bit of an activity around your own athlete journey. So what I'm going to propose here is that I have here, let me just put it up in the chat actually. I have it organized where in our breakout rooms, I have a link to, sorry, let me just put this in here. A Miro page. So I'll show you what Miro is. So for example, if I pull this one over to the screen here, it's a virtual whiteboard. And so this could work or this could not work. The great backup that we can have is just a pen and paper to kind of outline some of these key points here. But what I want you to do is I want you to get into your breakout room, and there's just you're going to see kind of like a timeline here. If I just scroll up, and there's going to be like a sticky note sort of idea right here, right? So if I pull this up here, all right. So what you can do is you can choose one of these lines from kind of like your first contact with the sport up until the present moment. I just want you to put any sort of example about, how this sport's kind of impacted your life. All right. And so there's some examples that I'll share over here right now. So you could, as a starting point, these are some ideas to think of, but there's really no wrong answers. How you started in your sport. When you started competing at a competitive level. Maybe a certain breakthrough in your performance that really kind of like opened some doors for you or gave you some insight and some perspective as to, hey, maybe I can do this a little bit more seriously, or maybe this is a great opportunity for me to pursue this. I'd also want you to maybe consider some moments of adversity that you faced. Maybe certain injuries you've had and how you've had to recover from them. Any sort of setbacks you've had, so selections or deselections from teams, any sort of moments in your life that you would kind of classify as a setback. Any changes that you've had in terms of like changes on any programs that you've had, any changes within a certain team or a certain coach, and also some key relationships as well. Not only from making sure we include like a positive spin on this as well, but certain people that you've met and that have influenced you in a really positive way. Obviously, this call has some coaches online. Not sure if someone still may be on, some maybe not. But people that have mentored you and impactful moments of people that you love and you care about, right? So this is just kind of a starting point to really kind of get a good understanding of you and your involvement in sport. And so when you get into your room, there's going to be like 3, and I've included those points I've just shared with you there, just to kind of get some food for thought going. This Miro piece, like if you're on a phone, it may be challenging. If you're on a computer, it may be a little bit easier. All I'd want you to do is just to try and give it a shot. And if it just is too much of a struggle, just grab a piece of paper, or maybe grab, even just pull up a notes app on your phone. Just try and get some thoughts down around, yourself and your sport, and what have been some key moments along the way that have really shaped who you are. All right, so what I wanted to do here for about, 10 or so minutes in our breakout rooms, just put a few initial thoughts down. Like I said, this is just a workshop to get you thinking about some things. By no means are we going to kind of have a finished article of anything to do with like your athlete workbook, but it's just meant to kind of prompt you with some ideas as a starting point. All right, so Anna, I'll pass it over to you to kind of put them in rooms. And I believe,
Awesome.
is there any points there? Danielle, Anna's going to work with you as well to make sure that you're all good to go.
So gameplay ambassadors are Elias, Danielle, Claudia, and Lindsay. I'm gonna stick you in as a room lead. If you guys can take a look at that Miro link, and then I'm just gonna push the athletes into those 4 rooms as well. Michelle, you've got a question?
Yeah, thanks, Anna. So I'm just wondering, so is this something that we should let the athletes just do, or will we be put in a room with them? I'm not sure what, like, if I should stay or should I go? I'm okay either way. So
I've added, Michelle, there's a couple other rooms there, room 5 and 6, and you're welcome to participate. I wouldn't want to say no to you, so you're welcome to jump in there if you want to take part in this, but ideally, like, we were just going to kind of put the athletes in those rooms that
that's
were
kind
shared
of
there.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Lindsay.
yeah, that's fine. I'll probably reach out to Sophia in the next week and maybe get to know her a little bit, because we haven't had the opportunity to do that. So I think I'm going to go though, and I wanted to say bye and congratulations to everybody. I'm really excited to work with the program, and thanks, Anna, for reaching out to us and so on. Good luck.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, bye, Geoff.
Yeah, Lindsay.
I'm just opening up that link you sent, and it's asking me to request access. Do we have to do that?
Okay, I'm pretty sure I thought I created all that open, but let me just double check. If it is going to be a problem, then let me just double check that. Because I would have had the sharing options as open. Anyone else struggling to get into their chat? Okay.
It's also telling me I need access.
Okay, well let's pivot. Let's go with pen and paper. And
yeah, we'll try that later.
Can we drop the prompts in the chat?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I am going to set you guys into your rooms. And then Jeff's got the prompts in the group chat. So just
wait. I think I figured it out. They should work. Let me work on it. Here we go. Everyone should have access in like 2 moments. But if it is just a struggle, feel free to just do pen and paper.
okay. I'm going to split everyone into rooms, and then Elias, I'm going to task you, if you can't open that link, if you can just send us a quick note into the group message. Cool.
I love the bit where everybody gets teleported somewhere else.
I know. Claudia, do I have you going?
Wait, am I supposed to go somewhere? Or am I being...
You are.
Oh,
Are you going? Oh, weird.
do I join the room that's written on there?
Yes. Do that.
Oh, I do it. Okay, sorry. I'll click it.
And maybe we'll see go. And Samuel, did your room number come up?
No. Mhm.
Okay, we might add you guys to another classroom together. Weird. For some reason, I can't assign you to a room. Person can't access breakout rooms. Interesting. Okay, well, maybe we'll run it with you two.
I can go somewhere else. Like I can hop off the call like it so you guys can have a room without us lurking.
Yeah. I know.
Or can you put us in a room, Anna?
Yeah, let's do that.
So Geoff, when I click on my room, I'm led to this like the room 4 board, right?
Yep. Yeah. I see your cursor in there actually. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I supposed to do? I'm sorry, it's
So
a
it's just
really, yeah.
no problem. I'm just asking you to kind of think of like certain moments in your career that like stand out to you, essentially. If you like scroll out on the plate on like the actual the whiteboard, there'll be like a little
Oh,
blurb
okay, I see it now.
that just gets you to think of some things there.
Okay.
And and then ultimately, yeah, just like doesn't have to be too detailed, but just kind of a starting point, just to think about like, for example, like when like some early experiences that shaped up your opportunity to go compete with the national team, or maybe it was like some breakthroughs, performances at that level that stood out to you, or coaches that you met along the way that had a really big influence on you, or those sort of examples. Yeah.
I just click on the sticky and I can write in it?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
So if I were to break out into the room where I had Levi and Kiara left, but let's say Levi's in that room, I could actually be speaking to him right now, or?
Yeah, for some reason I can't. You and Samuel, I can't move, which is kind of odd.
And are you, is anyone with Danielle, the helper?
I'm gonna try and join that room.
If I drop off, then at least Claudia and Samuel, you can work together, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See you later.
Thanks, Andrea. Bye.
Hi, Sam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'll assign you guys into a different room with the two of you.
Okay, cool.
Or Geoff, I'll kick Geoff out to work with Danielle.
Yeah, perfect.
Did that work?
I'm gonna click join room. Okay, here we go.
And Anna, you'll just stay in.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Okay.
This is so odd.
So I'll just take the green at the top here, Sam. You can start adding some key moments in the yellow pad down there.
Which one did you click?
Oh,
Because
I
I
just
don't have access to it.
Oh, you don't? It should just be I honestly just clicked on the chat, like it said room 4 for me, and I clicked it and it opened up this board. So I don't know if you're able to do that.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just on the green sticky. You can add on the yellow sticky, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And your sport again was alpine skiing, was
Alpine
that right?
skiing. Yep. Yeah,
Cool.
alpine skiing. Yeah.
Sam's on his way to Europe on Monday, right? Monday or Sunday?
Monday, I believe.
For competition?
Yeah, we're doing a couple of fish races and then World Cups as well. And,
Oh, nice. Where in Europe?
Austria and Switzerland for the
Nice.
listeners. Yeah.
Perfect
Thank you.
places for skiing.
Do they have snow?
They do. They do. A lot better snow than we have here right now, so it's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
And Claudia, how was Cairo?
Oh, well, I loved it. I had the best time. I performed I did exactly what I trained and I felt confident. I have no regrets on my performance, but it is at the end of the day a subjective discipline.
Yeah.
And I can't control like the outcome sometimes, and it is what it is, But
Yeah.
yeah, I had a good time and I learned a lot moving forward too. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
It's good mindset of yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating though because it is like the world championships for my sport, right? And then for this to be the outcome at such a big event, it really does hurt. But at the end, it's like it just shows you what the current trend is and what I have to adapt to moving towards the next competition, right? Because this is the highest level, so that's gonna be the new benchmark for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sam, with para-alpine, is that kind of similar, like where there is a bit of subjectivity, or is it just speed to get down the hill?
Just speed. Yeah.
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 And will this be one of your big? This is just the start of the season, or is this?
This is
Wait.
the start of the season. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We were down in Chile for a preseason camp in September, but other than that, it's start of the race season. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oops.
And Sam, have you met Mackenzie Berry?
I don't think I've met her in person.
Okay. I may get her to jump in here just so you can quickly meet her. Mackenzie, sorry about that. Most of the coaches dropped off. And then I don't know if you've met Samuel virtually yet. But right on, well, here he is, and yeah, he's heading off on Monday to Europe for the start of his para-alpine season, but should be a fun winter season. And then Mackenzie's not really new to CSI or Pacific Sport Okanagan, but she also is a high-level golf athlete growing up, and then used to work at UBC Okanagan, right?
Yeah, still do actually. Yeah, so I actually am also a mental performance consultant. So I do kind of both roles. So yeah, nice to meet you, Samuel.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, thanks for joining and the day before travel too. So
Oh, yeah.
nice, love it. That's okay. I did my own timeline.
Did you?
Yeah. It's like, it's always good to reflect on and explore those values and that timeline. So yeah.
Right? I think it is kind of cool to look back and then look at where your journey is. I thought like Microsoft Teams is kind of frustrating because some days it works and then some days it doesn't. So
I'm the same, and my audio only works if I have a headphone in.
so bizarre. Yeah, and it chooses when it wants to do that, I feel like.
We're in the process of, we just got Microsoft Teams for Pacific Sport Okanagan. So we're in the
Oh, yeah.
process of trying to merge everything right now. And it's, I don't know if it's more helpful than a pain in the butt, but
Yeah, fair.
we'll see.
Oh man. Okay, Geoff sent me a note. Claudia and Samuel, are you guys pretty good? I think we're gonna bring everyone back in about a minute.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Were you both able to create your little timeline there and jot down some ideas?
Just doing it now.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool to reflect on, I find at least, kind of that timeline and yeah, what brought you here, and then also some of those challenges you almost forget about sometimes too when you're through it or not necessarily like right in the moment. It's like, oh yeah, that did happen and that was tough when it did happen, but here we are.
Claudia, do you guys work with a mental performance coach or a sports psych support with karate?
For karate, we do like, we sometimes bring guest sports psychs onto the team just to do like, but we barely have full national team trainings or
Right.
even Zoom calls because the team is so huge. It's like 200 plus 300 almost.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, because it's like all ages. They don't really
Right.
divide it. But when it comes to like working with a sports psych, it's really individual and yeah, it's very individual. Like I work with a sports psych, so
Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine it's kind of helpful from the strategy side.
That's good you have at least access to it if you need it and want to take advantage of that for sure.
Awesome. Okay, hold on one sec, everyone. Great. So I am just kind of mindful of our time, and the purpose of this activity is just to kind of get you thinking and reflecting here. So I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to kind of hear from the group on some of these things, but hopefully you had an opportunity to chat with your fellow athletes in your breakout rooms. What I'm wanting to kind of tease out from some of this is kind of the way that you show up in some of these really big moments that you faced in your career up to this point, right? And so this kind of leads to the values that you can kind of hold close to you and really define how you show up and what you stand for as an athlete. Just make sure. Can we just make sure I'm there? I'm trying to get a bit of feedback. Thanks. So in your workbook, they kind of frame values into 4 categories: around your head, your heart, your hands, your voice. So how you think, how you connect with people, how you act, and how you lead. All right. So these are some, excuse me, maybe some ways and categories that you can think about some of the personal values that you have that really stand close to you here. So I'm going to send you these slides and these resources, and this is an opportunity for you to kind of think about when you select your own values. There's lots of different choices that you can provide, and they do have some in that workbook as well. I also have this online tool that I think is a good resource. I'm just going to pull it up forward here, and we're not going to have a time to necessarily go through it individually here, but it's this free online tool where you can go through and you can pick like personal values. All right, so on this page here, there's a number of different values that you can select. there's probably over 100 different types of values here. And what I would encourage you to do is you go through and you select them. You can start with 10 to kind of narrow it down. And then as you go through again, you kind of pair them off one-on-one. And you can kind of just go through like a little bit of a decision-making process to kind of come down to a handful of values. All right. And so this is just one way that you can use. You can look in your handbook as well. I believe there is a page there. I'm just going to pull that up again. That has like a list of all the values. That's not showing up for me right now. Okay. So the goal here is to, once again, go back to kind of some of that timeline example. And I know that we didn't necessarily have you like really probably a chance to really dive deep into that exercise, but it's an idea that you can kind of build on your own time and think through kind of like your career up to this point. What have been some of those big moments that have really shaped you? And then from there, while you have those ideas fresh in your mind, try and go through and identify what values you have that really, define how you've shown up in your life, what sport means to you, and what you want to bring forward to this role and to your identity as an athlete moving forward. So the idea here with the kind of some of the next steps, and I'm just going to just bring us to a close here in the next few minutes. I can save a little bit of moment for questions. But there's kind of 3 steps to this idea of once you have your values set, there's a purpose map that the workbook is looking to try and get you to define. All right, and so here's the examples of the values as well. So step 1 is to define a purpose, and it's a statement that is or has a strong and clear and concise guiding and unifying and compelling message. Essentially, it explains the impact you want to make and why your purpose matters. All right, and so this is kind of like the why that goes in the middle of this circle here. The second piece there is to choose 3 values that support your purpose and provide examples essentially as to why these values matter. All right, and so you're going to get these slides that have some examples that you can kind of lean on as a resource. But for example, there's 3 here: commitment, accountability, and honesty. And then there's some definitions as to why these matter as an athlete. And then the third piece here is outline like what are the behaviors that align with the values. All right, and so for each pillar, list of behaviors that demonstrate this value. These things should be observable in terms of how you show up, what others can see, what they can hear, what they can experience from you living by these values. All right, so ultimately, like this is kind of a 3-step approach that does start to flow fairly quickly. Once you have a really clear sense of what your purpose is, and that takes time to reflect on, right? So this is nothing that we want to rush, but it's just to kind of give you some tools to help you kind of guide this process. Is really around thinking about your life as an athlete, reflecting on what your purpose is and what you want to try and bring forward in your role as an athlete in your community and in your sport. And then from there to kind of go through and identify like what values and how those values show up to really tie together kind of that golden circle idea that I shared at the start of our conversation. So from there, there's kind of some key messages, and what this leads to is like an opportunity to kind of shape some public speaking strategies for yourself. And once again, this is in your workbook as well. So if I pull this up here, this message framework here, these slides just kind of summarize what those are. And then there's some additional examples of like what your storytelling piece looks like. So when you get connected with communications team and have opportunities to do some public speaking with this program, or opportunities through this program, I should say, there's some tools here that help you kind of guide your story. And, Noah mentioned it early on. It's like really important that you just kind of stick to what's authentic to you. Just trusting, that message and being really really connected to the stories in your life that really have shaped who you are as an athlete. All right, so that's essentially the final piece I wanted to share. And I wanted to kind of turn it back over to you if there's any kind of closing comments or some more logistics around this aspect of it, because I'm not too sure of what those details are in terms of timelines and things like that. But like I said, I'll share these slides with everyone so you have them as a resource, but hopefully you have a few ideas in terms of how you can go forward with kind of this this part of the program for yourself.
Awesome. Thanks, Geoff. And that was a really compressed overview of finding your values and goal setting. So really appreciate you adjusting that time. And I think it's a great introduction. I know a lot of you have probably gone through goal setting. A lot of you have probably gone through different types of values exercises. And I'd imagine when you're thinking even back to the story of how you started in sport to competition, your story is going to change. Your story probably from how you, the day like today in terms of next December when we're reviewing your experience through the ambassador program will likely change, or how you tell your story or think of things differently. So yeah, these values and these goals are meant to shift and how you develop and at different life stages. So that was a lot of content. I know you guys are tired, and it was a ton of information thrown at you after school, and you probably haven't had dinner yet. So thank you for sticking through this. We are so proud and thrilled to have you a part of this program. I've got a couple of follow-up items. We'll follow up with Geoff's pieces there. I'll follow up the PowerPoint and this recording, and then there's probably a couple of action items in terms of if you haven't filled out the form for your ambassador kit. I will also flag that our HR department will follow up with an email for signing off on a safe sport waiver, but that'll all come through with just a follow-up email as well from our end. So from my end, thank you very much for making time. Again, so excited for each of you to be a part of this program and really excited to see you grow and learn a little bit more about your stories. And then to close it off, I'm going to hand it over to Andrea to wrap things up.
Just a huge thank you. 2 hours on a weeknight, well, 2 hours of your time at any point is a huge ask, and it's just been so exciting to see your faces instead of pictures and get a little sense of who you are, to hear your coaches talk about you. I think it's just such a powerful moment. So all the best. I won't keep you long. One question from Matthias: is your coach Mike Pierce?
Yes, it is.
I used to coach his Coxes at UBC a very long time ago. So say hi
no
for
way.
me.
Okay.
He won't know my last name. It was before I was married, but yeah, a long time ago. So I rode, well, I coxed at UVic, and then I moved to UBC to do my master's and worked with him. Because frankly, being a novice coxie is terrifying. So there you go. There's
Yes,
my
it is.
story of how I got into sport, sort of. Huge thank you to all of you, and I'll let you go eat and lie down and do whatever else you need to do. So thank you so much for joining us and being our ambassadors. I can't wait for this year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anna, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Who on the chat? Who's Tara?
Oh, Tara Cleve is the new executive director at Pacific Sport Fraser Valley. So she might have connected with you.
Yes.
And then Larissa Dillon is the athlete services coordinator there. So yeah, they're thrilled to have you as their Fraser Valley ambassador. So yeah, she's probably sending you messages.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah, no worries. I'll touch base with you, but yeah, go get some sleep with your time change.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay.
I'll just
Hey.
stop recording. Thank you, guys.